In the beginning of the drama, we see our female lead Juan, whose father is being investigated. All his assets have been frozen. Because of this, getting a visa has become difficult for her. Juan wanted to fulfill her mother's last wish of going abroad to study, but instead, she had to leave her own city behind. Her father's secretary, Sun, is taking her to her Aunt Lanfeng's place in a town called Jining to protect her from creditors, because in Beijing, she has no relatives left. On the other hand, in the village of Jining, there is a commotion. Two boys with red and green hair are chasing a thief. They call out to our male lead Ming for help. His mother reminds him that today, he has to go pick up his cousin from the station. All three chase the thief named Leo. Meanwhile, Sun stops the car near the signal because the light has turned red. From inside the car, Juan watches three boys chasing someone and beating him up. Though Ming was actually just getting teacher Sue's phone back from Leo, but Juan mistakenly thinks they are street thugs. She thinks to herself, now she will have to live in a place like this. She steps out of the car in frustration. Seeing her, the boys say, looks like this is your cousin. All three walk up to her. The boy with green hair tells her his name is Hao. Hao asks, are you from Beijing? Juan replies, what does that matter to you? Mind your own business. Saying this, she gets back in the car. Sun asks the three boys for directions to Shan Island barbershop. After that, Ming gives them the direction. In return for this help, Sun gives them some money. Coming inside, he tells Juan with money, any work can be done. In the next scene, as soon as they leave, teacher Sue arrives. The boys return his phone to him. After checking it, he stops Ming to talk to him. Meanwhile, at the mahjong club, Lanfeng and her friends are chatting. Juan's mother, who is Lanfeng's niece from Beijing, passed away 2 years ago, and her father Feng considers them like his own family. Everyone says the money from taking care of Juan could really help pay off Feng's death. On the other hand, from Sue's conversation, we come to know Ming is a high school student who, instead of studying for the past 2 years, has been doing phone repair work. Sue tells him to come back to school and sit for the college entrance exam. He knows very well that Ming is trying to support his single mother, pay for his grandmother's leg treatment, and clear the family's debt. He doesn't want to become a burden on them. But Sue explains, only by going to a good college and building a career can he do all of this easily. He was a bright student and Sue doesn't want to see this talent go to waste. But Ming says, Leo was also your student. Look at him now, 2 years after graduating, he is still stealing. Sue replies, the difference between him and you is like heaven and earth. I keep advising you. Think about what I said and call me with your decision. In the next scene, Feng comes to the club and tells everyone that her niece is arriving. So she quickly starts preparing a welcome for Juan. As soon as her car enters the neighborhood, everyone starts setting off firecrackers. Ming also arrives on his bike. Sun meets Lanfeng, with whom he had only spoken on the phone before. The moment Juan steps out, Feng hugs her tightly and proudly introduces her to the neighbor. When Sun is leaving, Juan requests him to help prove her father's innocence. After Sun leaves, she comes inside the shop. Feng signals her to take out money. When Juan hands over the packet, Feng counts it and finds 300 and asks, where are the remaining 20? We made a deal for 50, didn't we? Juan says, this amount is more than one hotel's expenses, but she will give the rest when she leaves this place. Ming was standing at the door when Feng introduces him to Juan and gives him the responsibility of showing her around the place properly. But his reply is, I am busy right now. So Feng takes Juan upstairs to her son's room where he does phone repairs. She tells Juan to stay here comfortably because he rarely comes here. Feng shows her, there are 2 beds here, and there is a curtain in between, so there is nothing to worry about. Juan's expression starts to change hearing all this. She asks for another room, so Feng takes her to her own room, which is filled with stuff. She tells Juan to choose the room and goes back downstairs. After that, Ming comes down. Feng tells him to treat Juan well, just like when she went to stay with Juan's mother at the age of 8. She was treated like her own sister. Just then Juan comes downstairs and asks him, where is the bathroom? He points outside and warns her not to go disturbing his grandmother's room without reason. And for any help she needs, she can just call him. He leaves his contact number on the table and walks away. Juan selects Ming's room to stay in. Then she lies down on the same bed and falls asleep. In her dream, she sees her mother and tells her that she had a bad dream in which she was living with her aunt in Jining, and her son Ming and his friends are very strange. Their hair is colorful and their attitude is terrible. Her mother counsels her and then disappears. Juan calls out to her crying. She opens her eyes to find Ming in front of her. Seeing her like this, he was a little worried. He tells her dinner is ready. His mother is waiting for her downstairs, but she doesn't like anything in the food. She doesn't touch even a single dish. She gives Feng a written contract paper which has some conditions for her stay. Feng immediately signs it. Juan tells her, if her personal safety is compromised even slightly here, she will not give the remaining money before leaving. Her attitude does not sit well with Ming at all, so the moment Juan goes back to her room, he tells his mother, our life is already not going well. Why did you need to bring this princess here and serve her? She replies, the one who brought them to this state is her husband, his dad, whose gambling habit has brought them to this point today. Repaying his debt, grandmother's medical treatment cost, none of this will be covered just by Ming's phone repair work. Even today, it was only Juan's 300 that helped them get rid of those creditors. She tells him, once the remaining debts are cleared the same way, she wants to send him back to school. He says, there is no need for that. He wants to support this family on his own. To which Feng says, fine, think of Juan's money as a loan. As soon as our situation improves, we will return her money. After that, she feels like playing mahjong, so she leaves. Ming's grandmother calls out to him and advises him, don't fight with your mother like this. Meanwhile, Juan, who had been listening to their conversation from upstairs, comes downstairs. Just then the electricity goes out. She quickly runs to her room and video calls some friends. She tells them she packed in a hurry and didn't bring much. She even forgot her laptop at school. They tell her they will mail it to her by tomorrow so she can register for classes. Juan tells Leiling to keep the proof of her assets ready so she can get out of this place as soon as possible, where even the electricity goes out like this. When they ask about her cousin, she tells them he is completely strained. His hair color is terrible and his attitude is even worse than that. He had actually come to her with a candle and heard all this about himself. Juan cuts the call the moment she sees him and walks off, making a face. In the next scene, he fixes the fuse and the electricity comes back. Then he brings a mosquito coil into the room, the smell of which Juan doesn't like. She asks him, why doesn't he use the electric one? He replies, there are too many mosquitoes here. The electric one can't handle them. The coil works properly. At night, when Juan goes to her room to sleep, the bulb stops working, so Ming has to come and change it. He climbs on the table and asks her to pass him the new bulb, but she says, can't you come down and get it yourself? Ming makes a face and climbs down. Then Juan says, look, I am going to stay here for a maximum of 1 month. After that I will go abroad. So till then, bear with it or hate it. I will stay exactly like this, and I am not going to change. After fixing the bulb, Ming says, yes, that is exactly what I want. You leave from here as soon as possible and never come back again. Juan asks him where the bathroom is. When she sees its condition, she is completely shocked. A rusted heater, dirty floor, and a big hole in the door. She is scared someone might peek at her while she showered. He tells her there is a curtain that she can put up. When he is about to leave, Juan says to him, how do I wash myself with this shared shampoo and this soap? I need silicone-free shampoo, a proper facial cleanser, and body wash. But seeing his fed-up expression, she says, never mind, I will adjust for just 1 month. She closes the door and stuffs a towel into the hole. She is cleaning everything inside to go bathe when someone pulls out the towel and starts peeking inside. She screams. Hearing her, Ming runs to her. She tells him there is a very big bug inside, but it is actually just a small bug which he calmly picks out and throws away. After that, after taking a shower, Juan comes out feeling very hot. She tells him to get an AC installed. She will pay half the cost. But he says, if you are so rich, go install AC in every house in the village. Everyone will get some relief. In the next scene, he finishes his work and is coming to sleep. Juan says, your mother said you mostly don't sleep here, but what is this? Don't you think sharing a room like this is inappropriate? He replies, not everything his mother says is worth believing. Then seeing her uncomfortable, he comes out of the room and sleeps on the sofa himself. The next morning, the village people get busy with their work. The noise around wakes Juan up. She is so disturbed that she comes to the balcony and tells everyone, stop making noise or I will call the police. In the next scene, as soon as Juan comes downstairs, she slips on the stairs and falls. Ming hears her scream and comes to find her fallen on the ground. He and his mother lift her up and seat her on a chair. They see that both her eyes are swollen. The mosquitoes had bitten her all night long. Seeing her condition, Ming bursts out laughing. Juan says she is in a lot of pain. She can't even see properly. Feng tells her to go to the clinic. But Juan is worried. How will she go in pajamas like this? Her ID card is also upstairs in the room. He tells her nobody pays that much attention to such things here. But now Juan needs sunglasses. Seeing all her drama, he quickly picks her up in his arms and brings her to the clinic. Juan tells the doctor to do a blood test, CT scan, and everything. He checks her eyes and tells her the right one is swollen from sleeping on it, and the left one was bitten by a mosquito, so there is no need for all these tests. She is just given eye drops and advised not to rub her eyes repeatedly. Looking at her foot, the doctor says, "This is just a small injury. The bone and everything is fine." She says, "What do you mean? Will I not be given medicine and no x-ray either? How will we know I am perfectly fine?" The doctor says, "There is nothing to worry about. It is just a small bump. This will heal with ointment. Just avoid walking too much on it for a few days." The doctor gives medicine to Ming and suggests changing her dressing every 12 hours. He also gives a month's medicines for his grandmother. The doctor tells him to quickly apply ointment on Juan's foot, so he very carefully applies it and bandages her up. Juan just keeps staring at him. After the dressing, she asks him for his WeChat ID so she can pay him for the medicine. And if she ever needs help in the future, she won't have to keep screaming. Then, on the way back, she couldn't walk because the doctor had told her to avoid it. So she climbs onto Ming's back. He is carrying her when the neighborhood aunties spot them. They talk among themselves. Yesterday, she came all dressed up, and today look at her, riding on Ming's back in that outfit. Another one says, "Not just that, she screamed so loudly in the morning that it reminded me of Feng. She has completely blended in with us. In a few days, it won't even feel like she is from the city." Meanwhile, when Ming brings Juan home, his mother offers her soup, but she refuses to drink it. To which Feng says, she is not doing all this just for money. She genuinely cares about her. That is why she wants Juan to stay here comfortably. She also asks her what to cook for dinner so that she doesn't go to sleep hungry again. After a while, he leaves for his work and Feng goes to the mahjong club. Juan starts feeling hungry, so she eats the food lying there and finds everything very tasty. As she is about to go to her room, she hears some sound coming from Ming's grandmother's room. She goes inside to check and finds her in a wheelchair trying to pick up a fallen mug. Juan helps her and apologizes for disturbing everyone by staying here. Just then she remembers that she had secretly heard Ming promising his grandmother, when money comes, he will take her to have the Sea Origin steam deck. In the next scene, she goes to Santong's restaurant to place a food order. She orders a meal plan for 2 people. The meal plan has 4 balanced dishes every day, soup, and steamed seafood. Along with that, she says the food should be soft so it can be chewed easily. At first, hearing all her demands, Sanong starts making excuses about being busy. But the moment Juan gives an advance payment of 1,000, she immediately agrees. Just then, Ming arrives to pick up dumplings for his grandmother. He thinks Juan is ordering food for herself. When he comes home to give food to his grandmother, she tells him. Now it's not just her alone, but her granddaughter too, who takes full care of her. After that, he comes to repair the bathroom door hole and put a strong lock on it. Just then Ling comes out of the grandmother's room after cleaning it. He actually helps in his mother's barber shop, learns some skills from her, and does small household chores for them. Juan had gone out to buy some fruit. On the way, Hao meets her and gives her the courier that had arrived, which has the laptop inside. She quickly records a video for her course application when from downstairs comes the sound of Feng shouting. She is scolding Ming. Why did he need to change the common bathroom lock? Why should they bear the cost of all these things when everyone uses it? He tells her Juan was having a problem with it. To which Feng says she has also been using that same bathroom for so many years. She never had a problem. She goes to collect money from everyone. Just then Juan comes and scans their QR code and makes the payment. She says there was no need to make so much noise over such a small thing. After that, she goes back to her room to record again. Ming comes after her and says, "I have transferred money to you. Please accept it. And by the way, my mother was not angry because of money. She just felt it was all unfair, that everyone always takes advantage of them. That is why she was saying that." Juan says she gave the money just to get some peace. He explains to her not everyone can be bought with money, but Juan thinks he changed the lock because she has been paying Feng for staying here. She shows the contract and says their relationship is only this much, that she wants service and he and Feng are providing her service. But looking at his attitude, he doesn't feel like accepting the remaining payment. Seeing her such behavior, Ming gets angry and tells her to pack her bags and go to a hotel. So Juan also takes all her luggage and leaves from there. In the next scene, she arrives at the best hotel in the village. The room price is so low that she can't believe it. She keeps asking, "There is AC, Wi-Fi, everything here, right?" The manager says, "Yes, everything is here." She sees the room. It was not like Beijing, but she was very happy to get AC and an ocean view. But very shortly after, lightning starts and her AC and Wi-Fi shut down. Her study materials download also stop. Meanwhile, seeing the bad weather, he gets worried for Juan. Just then Sanong comes with food and tells him Juan had ordered a meal plan for 2 people. Ming sees that in the food there are also steamed seafood and boiled egg. Ling also tells him while leaving for work, Juan had told him to clean grandmother's room and plant some plants there. He quickly calls Sue and asks that girl with the suitcase they picked up near his house. Where did she go? Sue tells him the hotel name. So he calls the hotel owner and says, the girl Juan who checked in today, please keep an eye on her, and if there is any problem, contact him. Meanwhile, Juan was also having problems at the hotel. At night, the Wi-Fi stopped, so she called the manager. But he said the repairman can only come tomorrow. In the morning, the guest next door started shouting during a live stream which disturbed Juan's sleep. Meanwhile, we see Ming sitting at the hotel reception who had come to fix the network problem there. Just as this gets solved, his eyes fall on the CCTV camera. In it, he sees Juan walking angrily towards one room. There she knocks on the door. A big and heavy man comes out. Juan tells him to lower the noise and keep the music volume down. He grabs her hand and says, come inside and turn it down yourself. Just then Ming arrives and tells the man she is his spoiled cousin. She is high maintenance, so she has a problem with a little noise. That is why she left home and came here. He says sorry to the man and calms the situation down. After that, he comes to Juan's room to fix the Wi-Fi and AC. Just then the owner comes and asks Juan, does she want to extend her stay? She says yes and tries to make payment, but it doesn't go through. She messages Uncle Sun asking what is happening, but he doesn't reply. Seeing her so worried, Ming transfers some money to her and says she can use this to extend her stay. Or she can listen to the live streaming of the guest next door who is a long-term tenant there every single day. So she decides to check out and comes out of the hotel. In the next scene, outside, she finds a cute little kitten which she starts petting. He comes and tells her this one is his. He shows her the way to the bus stop from his scooter so she can easily get to Shan Island. So she catches the bus and sits down. After a while, Sun's call comes. He tells her, because of her dad's situation, her bank cards have been frozen. But he sends her some money so she doesn't face any problem going forward. Meanwhile, the man sitting in the back seat quietly picks up her pink bag and gets off the bus. And Juan doesn't even notice. She comes back home and tells her unsuspecting aunt that she had gone for a walk with the suitcase so she could also carry some heavy load. Feng returns the lock money to her and gives her the tasty breakfast she made for her. She also tells her it was Ming who cooked this in light sesame oil for Juan. So she tastes a little and apologizes to her for her past behavior. In the next scene, as Juan is about to go to her room, she notices her laptop bag is missing. She goes outside and searches here and there, but it is nowhere to be found. She becomes sure that her laptop was stolen on the bus. She thinks about filing a police report because it had a lot of her important belongings, but Ming tells her the thief will either keep it for himself or sell it. Feng tells her son, you know so many people, just help her out a little. Juan, looking at his expression, assumes he won't help her, so she leaves on her own to file the report. But Ming thinks, when Hao was giving him a number this morning for work, that was the same number of someone who deals in stolen goods, so he calls that number. Meanwhile, at the police station, the officers tell them they have contacted the bus company. The footage will be coming shortly. On the other hand, he arrives at Yang's warehouse on the pretext of looking for work. There he tries to talk to him about a boy named Sopping, who had some history with Ming. But Yang says he came here for work, not for all that. Meanwhile, Juan watches the footage and finds the thief, but he was wearing a mask. The police say this is surely a seasoned thief, but we will do our best to catch him. In the next scene, to test Ming's skills, Yang gives him a phone battery to replace. He does it in 5 minutes. He acts as if he came here to earn as much money as possible. So Yang shows him the devices he has just gotten. He is going to wipe their accounts and sell them as new devices. Among these is also Juan's laptop. He tells Yang he didn't come here to do illegal work. He just wants this laptop. Yang tells him the price is 16,000. He says you would not have taken more than 20,000 for it. Yang says he will have to give 16,000 or he won't be able to leave from here, and neither will he get this laptop. So he calls an officer named Shu and says, you know how Sopping ended up in jail, right? Scared by this threat, Young agrees to give him the laptop for just 2,000. While leaving, he also picks up Juan's pink bag. Yang's men try to stop him, but he gets away. On the way, he tells Officer Shu there is something wrong at Yang's repair shop. In the next scene, when Juan comes home, she finds her laptop safe and sound. After a while, he comes to feed the fish. At that moment, Juan's eyes fall on the injury on his hand. She understands that it was Ming who brought her laptop back. After this, her perception of him starts to change. So at night, when he comes to his room, Juan gives him medicine to apply on his injury. The next day, because of a poor Wi-Fi connection, she is plugging and unplugging the router to check. Just then Hao arrives with the best cherries of Jining for her. Then Ting arrives to give her food sent by his mother. She likes the cherries so much that she asks them if there are any other specialties of Jining. She wants to try those too. So they take her outside to taste the special food and drinks of this place. During that time, she asks about Ming dropping out of school. They tell her he left school 2 years ago in his senior year to solve his family's financial problem. They said he was quite smart. The aircraft model he had built had flown quite far. But 2 years ago something happened that took everything away from him. And about this, they don't say much more. Just then, a sound comes from inside. A customer accidentally spilled water on Juan's laptop. She and everyone else rush inside worried. Juan also tries to turn on the laptop, but it doesn't turn on, so she goes with Shu. In the next scene, he brings her to Shunyi's store where Ming does his repair work. She goes inside and tells him that her laptop is not turning on because it got wet. While checking it, he notices Juan is sweating badly, so he gives her a tissue and turns on the table fan for her. His business partner Shunyi brings water for Juan and assures her that he will fix her laptop. After checking, Ming tells her that a component of the motherboard has burned. Juan says she needs the laptop by 10 o'clock. She has urgent work, so to fix it, Ming tells her the replacement part is on Shan Island. He asks her to come along, so she comes outside, but her dress was so short that sitting on the scooter was getting uncomfortable for her. So he takes off his shirt and gives it to her to tie around her waist. During this time, there is an intense moment of eye contact between the two. On the way, he was taking Juan along. There were fields of lavender there. To enjoy this beautiful view, Juan stops for a little while. During this time, she asks Ming about dropping out of school, but he turns around and asks her the reason for coming from Beijing to here. Juan says, if you don't want to answer my question, just say so directly. There was no need to change the subject like that. So he says, yes, I don't want to tell you. So Juan doesn't ask him anything more. Then she sits back on the scooter. After dropping Juan home, Ming says he will bring the fixed laptop by 10 o'clock. And while leaving, he advises her, don't come to Shunyi's store too often. When she comes inside, the person who had accidentally spilled water gives her money. But Juan refuses to take it, so he asks her to keep the cucumber he brought. Meanwhile, after repairing the laptop, Ming opens and looks at her favorite folder. It had pictures of her friends, family, and her happy moment. In one photo, there was her and her mother. Looking at it, he remembers what his mother had told him, how much she had helped Feng during her pregnancy. In the past, his dad used to beat up Feng and say, when you married me, you had someone else's child in your womb and now you look down on me. I feel like I am worth nothing. When Ming came between them to stop him, his dad would beat him too. His grandmother herself had to chase away her own son. He is sitting outside the store remembering all of this. Just then, he sees a bird that has fallen from its nest. He picks it up and puts it back in the nest. He asks Shunyi, how does it feel to suddenly fall from the sky into the mud? He replies, to fall, I would have to go up to the sky first. In the next scene, Juan gets a message from her friend that her property certificate is ready. Now she can easily apply for the visa. Just then, there is a sound from the grandmother's room. Juan goes inside and finds her fallen on the floor. She is having a seizure and foam is coming out of her mouth. Juan is trying to calm her down when she starts biting her hand. There was a CCTV camera installed in that room. The moment Ming gets the notification, he watches the live footage and immediately heads home. By then, Juan had given her medicine and put her to sleep. He checks her hand, but she says she is fine. He gives her the repaired laptop, which she takes and goes to her room and signs up for classes. After that, he comes and turns the fan towards her. He hands her medicine to apply on her injury and thanks her for today. She tells him her mother also used to be sick, so she knows a little about handling patients. The next morning, Feng makes a lot of dishes for Juan. This is a thank you for what she did for Ming's grandmother. The grandmother also tells Ming, as long as Juan is here, take good care of her. So Ming installs AC in Juan's room. On her asking, he tells her it is second-hand. She can use it for as long as she is here. During installation, when a screw falls down, Juan doesn't rudely tell him to pick it up himself like last time. Instead, she picks it up and hands it to him herself. He asks about her hand. She says it is much better than before. Then she asks about his grandmother's illness. He tells her, this mental illness has been there for 2 years. That is why he makes sure to be with her, especially during mealtime. When she asks about his father, he tells her there were so many debts on them that after he left, he never came back. For him, his father is dead. After installing the AC, Juan feels a lovely coolness. According to her, only fresh watermelon was missing. Ming fulfills this wish of hers too. She tells him, after coming here her life had become very tough. She had never faced so much heat in her life. She mostly lived in air-conditioned homes. Tutors would come there too. When she needed to go outside, she would travel in air-conditioned cars. But today, for the first time here, it didn't feel tough. He says, because of the second-hand AC. She says, no, you changed the lock for me, installed AC, gave watermelon, fixed my laptop. A big thank you to you for all of this. Ming smiles and walks out of the room. By evening, Feng washes Juan's clothes and hangs them outside. After she leaves, someone steals her underwear. The next morning, Feng sees it missing and starts shouting. Hearing her voice, Juan comes outside and gets to know everything. Feng asks the nearby families, but they all clearly deny knowing anything about it. In the next scene, Ming comes out hearing the commotion. Juan says, people here steal anything and everything. First the laptop and now underwear. What kind of people live here? He notices shoe marks near the hanging clothes. Then he goes straight to one house, directly to Leo, who is comfortably having breakfast outside. He asks him, where are Juan's clothes? Leo says, I didn't steal them. He replies, I didn't say steal either. And these are your shoe marks. I know you were the one who stole the laptop too. Leo keeps denying again and again that he stole nothing, so he threatens to pour hot tea on him. After scaring him a little, Leo tells the truth, he is the thief. Ming warns him, if Juan is troubled by him from now on, next time he will make him truly regret it. In the next scene, at home, Feng tells Juan to pick some clothes from hers because she had brought only a few dresses and had to keep rotating them. But all of Feng's clothes have floral design. When Ming comes home and sees her in such clothes, he starts laughing. Feng tells him to stay so he can help Juan pick clothes. But as Juan keeps trying on dresses, Ming's laughter keeps growing. But when Juan styles Feng's dress in her own way and wears it, Ming is completely blown away. He takes his mother outside and tells her to get Juan some clothes. But Feng had to go to help prepare for the neighbor's son's wedding, which is happening tomorrow, and she had already promised. So he tells Juan to come shopping with him, but she refuses. She is scared that if she goes out again, something of hers will get stolen again. But she asks him to bring her some innerwear when he comes back. He buys it from the market and comes outside completely embarrassed. Just then, Shuni calls him and asks him to come to the store. He has a job for him. His sister's boss's son needs help preparing a model aircraft for a competition. Ming tells him his price and Shuni finalizes this deal with his sister. In the next scene, coming home, he gives Juan her innerwear and tells her the neighbor's son's wedding is happening nearby. There is going to be a celebration tonight. Feng has given him the job of taking her there. By evening, both of them are at the feast. Juan loves this view, the hustle and bustle of people, the smell of food. Feng and Ming's grandmother are also there. When Leo arrives, he starts staring at Juan. Yang asks him, is this the same girl whose laptop you stole? Look, you live in Ming's neighborhood, but you are no match for him. You can't beat him, but at least you can handle the girl sitting next to him. Meanwhile, Juan drinks a lot there and is playing games with Hao. Feng, seeing her like this, tells Ming, bring Juan home properly. But when she walks back drunk, she can't keep her balance. She is also feeling cold. She tells Ming, give her his jacket. So he wraps the jacket around her and carries her on his back. In the next scene, Juan tells him, after she leaves from here, she will never forget him. And if they ever meet again, she will be friends with him. He remembers how his dad would take his mother's earned money and gamble. He lived with this bad habit, borrowing money from people around them and from creditors. Later, there was so much debt on his head that after he left, everyone grabbed Feng and his family. They were mistreated. Their life was made very difficult. His dad's bad deeds had also destroyed his mother's condition, which Ming had to handle. That is why he says, there is no chance at all. The difference between your world and mine is like heaven and earth. But she had already fallen asleep. Ming brings her to the room. He takes off her shoes, covers her with a blanket, and finally comes out of the house. He goes straight to Shuni's store to build the model aircraft. Shuni says, you can build this for yourself and get recognition from it. That is why I sometimes feel bad for you. But Ming wants the profit. He wants to use the money from this job to buy an electric wheelchair for his grandmother. He believes, what will he do with just recognition? Shuni asks him, Is there nothing in his life that he wants to fight for? This question brings Juan's thought to his mind. Meanwhile, her eyes open with the sound of lightning. She pulls the curtain and doesn't find Ming there, but his note is placed next to the honey water. On it, he has written, drinking this will help with her hangover. He is going to Shuni's store right now. If she needs anything, she can contact him. In the morning, she drinks the honey water and comes to the bathroom to take a shower because her body smelled of alcohol. While she is bathing inside, Leo tries to break the lock from outside. He had seen Ming leaving the house, so he is daring to do this. As soon as Juan hears the sound of the lock being tampered with, she quickly puts on her clothes and calls Feng. But her phone was at the shop itself. She was playing mahjong at the club as usual, so she calls Ming and asks him to come over. While heading home, he tells Shuni call Officer Wu and ask him to come to Shan Island. Meanwhile, when Leo can't break the lock, he hits the door with stones and kicks it until it opens and starts walking towards Juan inside. But before he can touch her, Ming arrives and beats him up properly. Juan sees that Ming's head is bleeding. He would have gone too far with Leo, but Juan stops him from doing something he would regret. When the police arrive, the sound of their car siren brings everyone outside. Coming inside, they see Leo lying injured on the ground. The officers and his parents get angry at Ming, but Juan tells them while she was bathing, their son was trying to break the door from outside. If Ming had not arrived on time, nobody knows what would have happened. Leo's parents ask, "What proof is there?" Ming says, "Go and check inside their house once." The police go inside and find many girls' clothing items inside. They bring him to the station. Juan recognizes her own innerwear among those clothes. Just then Leo says he was drunk. He mistook the bathroom for a toilet. His mother, being a woman herself, takes her son's side and tries her best to protect him. Juan looks at Leo's clothes and says, "You were the one who stole my laptop too, weren't you? You were wearing the same clothes that day." The officers also look at the footage and understand both persons are the same, and they put him behind bars. Leo's mother falls at Juan's feet and begs for mercy, but Ming tells her, never show mercy to people like this. They are never worthy of it. The officers tell them they already knew how much he had stolen, but until today, there was no solid proof to put him away. But today the evidence is in their hands, so Leo is not going to be released for some time. Along with that, they also tell Ming, even though his intentions were right, he should not have taken the law into his own hands. Feng assures them that her son will not do this again. Officer Shu lets them go. At home, Ming's grandmother counsels Juan, but she cries thinking, who knows what would have happened to her today if he had not come. Grandmother says, with Ming around, no one can trouble her. At night, before sleeping, he brings ginger soup for her so she doesn't fall sick from getting wet in the rain. Juan says she is missing her mother. He tells her, whatever happened today will never happen again. Then he explains, just like a fish cannot survive in a plastic bottle, and roses cannot bloom in a desert, in the same way Juan does not belong to this place. That is why he promises to protect her until she leaves from here. The next day, he builds a wooden clothes hanger with a signboard saying these are only and only Juan's clothes. No one can touch them. From that day on, Juan starts feeling safe here. She also thought for as long as she is here, she will live life well. Grandmother also made different kinds of bags and covers for her so that Juan's belongings don't get lost again. She also knitted a vest for Juan, which she was proudly showing off by wearing it. When grandmother asked Ming, how does Juan look in this vest? He said in a joking tone, only the clothes look good. Meanwhile, Feng's trips to the mahjong club became less. She started learning new cooking skills at home. By the time it was time for Juan to leave, she had a bag full of so many precious memories that perhaps could never be forgotten. One day, her friend told her, the start date is fixed. The class schedule is set. She can stay at Ling's house before going abroad. She comes to Ming to tell him that she is going to Beijing. In the next scene, hearing the news of Juan going to Beijing, Ming goes completely quiet for a moment. Deep inside, his heart is breaking, but hiding his emotions, he smiles and congratulates Juan. On the day of Juan's departure, Ming has made full preparations. With the help of his friend Huang Mao's father, he arranges a large pickup truck so that Juan can travel comfortably. After that, the emotional farewell moment arrives. She promises grandmother that she will video call during meal times so she doesn't feel lonely. Feng feels that maybe there was some shortcoming on her part in taking care of Juan. Also, she is leaving before time, so she talks about waiving the last payment. But Juan refuses and says Uncle Sun will settle the payment later. Before leaving, Hao and Ting also come running and give her a bag full of imported fruits and homemade snacks. Seeing this, Juan becomes even more emotional. On the way, she stops at some special places. First, she comes with Ming near the lighthouse, where the two met for the first time. They start laughing, remembering old memories, especially when Juan remembers that she had mistaken Ming for a rude thug the very first time. After that, both reach the beautiful lavender field. She hands Ming her phone to take some photos of her. When Juan starts giving cute poses, Ming gets so caught up in the moment that instead of photos, he starts taking a video. In the end, Juan also takes a selfie with him. Juan says goodbye to Ming and hugs him. While leaving, she stuffs the contract paper into his pocket and says, "Now this ends right here." Juan leaves for Beijing with a smile on her face, carrying her dreams for the future. But as soon as she reaches the city, all her dreams start breaking one by one. She messages her friend, but no reply comes. After a while, she comes to know that her friend has blocked her and also removed her from the group chat. In the middle of the shock, she gets a call from Hunji Study Abroad. She is urgently called to school to be told that someone has anonymously exposed her financial condition. So, because of hiding her father's economic situation and frozen assets from them, the university has cancelled her admission. Not only this, for the next 5 years, she cannot even apply. Juan's world falls apart in one single moment. She immediately understands that in Beijing, only 2 people knew about her family situation, and one of them had just blocked her. With anger and pain, she finds her friend at a cafe and asks her, did she do all this out of jealousy because Zen likes her? Lei Ling said straight out, yes, she did all this out of jealousy. She never really considered her a true friend anyway. To which Juan said, she was never impressed by Zen. Friendship was the most important thing for her, and today that friendship is also over. In the next scene, Zen, who is listening to all this from a distance, comes closer and gets angry at Ling. He brings Juan to his home. His mother puts on a kind act on the outside, but later she takes her son to the kitchen and explains to him their company's business connections are tied to Juan's father. If she stays in their house, they could also get into problems. Hearing this, Juan feels that she has become a burden for everyone. Without telling anyone, she quietly leaves the house. She calls Uncle Sun, who tells her her father's case has become even more serious and the accounts are still frozen. As a last hope, Juan reaches her old house, but goes there to find that even the electronic locks have been changed. It is raining heavily, and she sits on the stairs outside the house and breaks down crying. Perhaps the worst time of her life had never come before this. Just then, suddenly the rain falling on her stops. She looks up and finds Ming standing in front of her holding an umbrella. He tells her he was so worried about her that he came all the way to Beijing. He gets her warm noodles and tells her this contract is still valid for 15 more minutes, so the responsibility of her safety is still his. Then he says no matter what happens, his home will always be open for Juan. Hearing this, tears come to Juan's eyes and she agrees to go back with him to Jining. But before leaving, Juan wanted to take her belongings, so both of them quietly sneak into her house through the backyard. There, Juan sees that her mother's beloved plants have withered, but Ming's eyes fall on one living plant. Juan decides she will take this with her. Inside the house, he sees many of Juan's certificates and awards that she had won in many events and competitions. Seeing this, he is very much impressed. During packing, Juan shares the leftover ice cream from the freezer with Ming, and they eat it together. Then she breaks the piggy bank and fills her pockets with the saved money. There is no space in the suitcase, so she also puts on some extra clothes and sunglasses and makes Ming wear some too. But while leaving, the security guards spot them and they start running to escape. Running and running, morning arrives. Before leaving Beijing, Juan comes to her mother's gravesite. With tears in her eyes, she says her life has gone into even more darkness. But now she is not scared because someone has held her hand. Ming, standing by her side, promises her mother that he will keep Juan safe. On the way back, he buys an electric wheelchair for grandmother from a store. The amount is falling short by 200 yuan, so Juan gives that amount because she also wanted to contribute something for grandmother. In the next scene, when both return to Jingting, grandmother is filled with joy seeing the new wheelchair. Juan gifts Lanfeng a designer silk scarf and skincare product. When everyone asks, how did Juan come back so soon? She tells them her plans have changed. Now she will stay in Jingting for at least 1 year. Feng warmly welcomes her, but later, she takes Ming outside and shares her worry. She says, They care about Juan, but the truth is that they have no money left. The final payment is not going to come. The old money has been spent on paying debt. He says, even though we don't have a blood relation with her, right now her family is in trouble. She cannot go abroad. Her Beijing friends are also not being of any use. Who other than us will help her? Don't worry, I will handle everything. And he asked Feng not to mention the money problem in front of Juan, and said he will handle everything himself. Feng was still worried, but grandmother supported Ming's decision. During this time, it was found out that Juan had gone to the beach, so he goes searching for her and reaches near the lighthouse. Looking at the sea, Juan says, Jining doesn't feel the same to her as before. Everything is familiar and yet new. After what happened in the city, coming back here, she feels life has given her another chance. Hearing Juan's words, Ming places a hermit crab in her hand and compares her life to that small creature. He tells her a hermit crab changes its shell and every time becomes stronger than before. He said Juan too will one day come out of her difficulties just like this and become stronger. Most importantly, he assured Juan that as long as she is here, he will never let her feel the lack of a home. After returning to Shan Island, Ming dyes his hair black again. By night, he gives his room to Juan and decides to shift himself downstairs to the utility room. Juan feels very bad about this. She says, in the future whenever she earns money, she will return every single expense with interest. But he stops her from always thinking of herself as a burden and says, now she is also a part of this family. And in the same spirit, Juan also gives him a neck pillow so his neck pain reduces while repairing phone. On the other hand, the financial condition was very bad. After paying the gas bill, Feng is left with only a few hundred yuan to run the entire household expenses. Meanwhile, Zen had been trying to reach Juan for many days and says, don't take his mother's words personally. He will openly let her stay at his house. No one will say anything to her. But Juan told him that she had come back to Jining. Yes, the same place that she didn't like at all before. But now everything feels different. One day, while jogging, Juan stops at Ming's shop to get some water. There her eyes fall on a conversation between Ling and his friend. The friend had offered him a job working at a career center in the city where he could earn 100 yuan per day, but Ling straight away refused. He said Feng and her family are in trouble and he cannot leave them and go. Hearing this, Juan gets curious. After the friend leaves, she asks Ling, why is he so loyal? Then Ling told his whole story. 6 years ago, after his parents' divorce, they each made their own new families. Ling lived with his old grandmother. They were very poor, so he was also undernourished. People used to bully him, and one day some troublemakers beat him up badly. At that time, Ming came to help him and brought him to Shan Island. Feng took care of him. She fed him, cut his hair, and then made him her apprentice. Hearing this, Juan realizes that she and Ling are quite similar. Before drowning in life's difficulties, someone had held both of them. When both came back to the barber shop, debt collectors were sitting outside who had come to collect the remaining 20,000 yuan from Feng. Inside, Ming pays some amount to send them away, but the leader Mr. Ru needed 2,700 yuan more. Even taking that, they refused to leave. So Juan comes inside and makes the online payment for them. Ru said while leaving, return the rest of the money the same way. When Ming asked Juan where she got so much money from, she said this was her computer repair chart. After that, Juan carefully looks at the shop's accounts. Using her math skills, she calculates the entire expenditure. And then a shocking truth comes out. The shop was actually making a profit. The problem was not in the business, but it was that Ming was paying many business expenses from his own pocket and also covering Feng's extra personal expenses. Just as Feng came back with groceries and heard all this, she got upset. Can't she spend even a little money on herself? What is wrong with treating yourself sometime? Juan immediately handled the situation and praised Feng's business skills and said, the shop's profit is enough to support the family. This made the atmosphere normal again. That night during dinner, Juan puts forward a new proposal. She says she will now completely transform Shan Island. Ming thinks she is wasting her time. But Juan says, if you want to make more profit, first Shan Island needs to become successful. But Feng and Ming don't think this work is going to be easy. So he calls Shunyi's sister to ask her for some work. Meanwhile, Juan stays up all night planning the barber shop's transformation. The next day, she shows Ming her detailed proposal and tells him she wants to lighten his burden so he doesn't have to tire himself doing extra job. Hearing this, he agrees to give her planning a try. Juan told him, Apart from Shan Island, there are 3 more barber shops here, out of which one is doing very well. She researched it and made a strategy. Her plan is to attract young customers. Modern hairstyles will be introduced and stylish flyers will be distributed. Ming asked, where will the models come from? Then Juan pointed towards Feng and her club friend. Ming thought it was impossible, but Juan went straight to those 3 ladies. In the beginning, everyone started laughing and said, their age is not the age for becoming a model. Juan said, not a runway model, a print model. And since the main customers of Shan Island are women in the 35 to 55 age group, no one can represent them better. Then Juan told them there will be a free photo shoot for them. The moment they hear photo shoot, they immediately agree. As soon as this was done, she comes to Ming and explains her full strategy. She said, anyone can use stock photos, but in a close community like Jining, the real magic will happen when people see their own neighbors in the flyers after a dramatic makeover. This will create both curiosity and discussion. When Juan told Ming that he should also be a model for this photo shoot because he looks handsome, he smiled gently and thanked her for the compliment. He chooses Shuni as the photographer who is not confident that he can take photos like a professional, but Ming has full faith in him. He motivates Shuni and convinces him by lending him his DSLR camera. Meanwhile, Juan is showing Ling some trending hairstyles which are the best way to attract customers. To learn them, she watches online videos with him, and when she tries styling his hair, it turns out very different from expectations. Seeing this, Feng explains to Juan, not every hair's texture is the same. The same styling technique does not suit everyone. Seeing the magic of Feng's hands, Juan is forced to compliment her. Now she wanted to try such styles on her own hair. But to protect her hair from being ruined by Juan's hands, Feng makes an excuse and runs away. In the next scene, deep in thought, Juan tells Ling to try curls on her. Seeing both of them doing all this, grandmother also joins in. She tells Juan if her hair looks good, she will also be a part of this photo shoot. Ling styles grandmother's hair first, and she is very happy with the result. Then Juan gets her turn. She is nervous at first, but becomes overjoyed seeing her curl. She rushes to show Feng and bumps into Ming, who says her new hairstyle looks as beautiful as Merida. Juan finalizes new styling prices and introduces a membership plan. Feng and Ling worry about price increases affecting old customers, but Juan explains memberships will actually make it cheaper and attract more people. She prepares flyers to explain this. Later, Feng's business partners arrive, and Juan presents her marketing ideas, asking them to spread positive word about the shop. Everyone likes her strategy. Ming quietly listens and smiles as he watches her confidence grow. Juan says she learned business from her father and is using it to transform Shan Island. The next day, the photo shoot begins. Everyone enjoys their new hairstyles and poses happily, even unrecognizable to Hao and Ting. Juan asks them to stay natural for better photos, and they also take a group shot. Ming says he will return the borrowed camera. Juan brings watermelon for him, saying the day was fun regardless of business results. Shuni suggests using the photos for posters. By evening, Ming gathers everyone outside. They all say the summer became special because of Juan. Juan admits she disliked Shan Island at first and often got frustrated with Ming, but now she is grateful to everyone and credits him for her comfort there. During dinner, Ming leaves for a Wi-Fi repair. When he returns, everyone is drunk and Juan is dancing by the beach. He scolds his friends for not stopping her, but they say she was unstoppable. He ends up taking care of everyone while dealing with Juan's drunk antics. Drunk, Juan promises to grow Shan Island and even jokingly says she will buy him a mansion with big beds. She expresses concern for how hard he works, which deeply moves him. The next morning, she finds hangover medicine and warm water prepared by Ming, who is also building furniture. She later feels embarrassed remembering the drunk moments, including complimenting his physique, and runs away awkwardly. At the printing shop, the owner gives a discount after recognizing Ming from photos, praising his helpful nature. Juan is happy thinking she got benefits because of him. Ming prints a photo of them together, while Shuni mentions his sister is returning from Huinan. On her way home with posters, Juan gets caught in the rain. A girl offers her a ride. The girl turns out to be Shihan, Shuni's sister. She recognizes Ming and casually talks about him, saying she has heard about Juan from him and others calling her sister-in-law. She also admits she admires Ming's character. Meanwhile, Ming comes to pick Juan up in the rain, but sees her arriving with Shihan and quietly leaves when she ignores him. Juan is upset and goes straight to her room. Shihan praises Ming at the shop, while he takes care of Juan's wet things and helps around. He even gives Shahan a model aircraft, and she offers him a high-paying electronics job with a 30% commission condition, which he accepts. She also gives him amusement park tickets, but he refuses, saying he will be busy with Juan and the flyer. Feng jokes about Shahan being their lucky charm. Juan feels uneasy hearing this. Later, all three go to a cafe. They talk about its history and the taste of the food. Juan compares it to Beijing coffee, while Ming finds it too strong. Shahan explains her background and how Ming once saved them from bullies and has supported their business since. She clarifies there is nothing romantic between them and that Ming has never thought of her that way. Juan asks about the rumors of them being a couple. Shahan confirms it is all a misunderstanding. That night, Shahan gives Juan amusement park tickets and asks her to convince Ming. Later, Ming returns home and finds them drinking together. Shahan leaves, and Juan tells him she is helping with the Sinhai job plan. He refuses the ticket, staying firm about his work and responsibilities. Juan teases him, saying his close partner Shahan wants to go with him, and it will feel like a date. Feng also thinks Ming is old enough to have a girlfriend and already sees Shahan as a perfect match. He stops the teasing and says he has nothing to do with all this. Juan angrily gives him the ticket and leaves. Later, both return home confused emotionally. Juan messages him not to misunderstand, saying she only gave the ticket on Shuhan's behalf and doesn't care about their relationship. She then sees him leave on his scooter without replying and assumes he ignored her message. Angry, she slams the door, breaking the glass. Feng says she'll tell Ming to fix it. Meanwhile, he plays basketball intensely, ignoring everyone and thinking only about Juan. He returns, sees her message, starts replying that he doesn't like Shahan, but deletes it and instead says he will go with her tomorrow to distribute flyers. Juan replies in the group that she is going with Hao and Ting and removes him from the group. He hides his disappointment and lies to friends that he is busy. The next day, everyone distributes flyers. Hao is energetic, even convincing a billiard club owner to allow posters after beating him in a game. Meanwhile, Ming convinces a shop to allow a poster outside by negotiating a monthly deal. He apologizes to Juan for the misunderstanding and clarifies nothing is between him and Shahan. Juan agrees she shouldn't interfere and promises to respect boundaries, adding him back to the group. Later, they expect customers from the discounts, but get none. Juan then suggests a camera-based promotion, a free portrait with every hairstyle. It becomes a huge success with long customer lines. Everyone works hard while Juan calculates profit, confident the results will be good. Suddenly, Zen arrives in Jining and notices Juan's flyers, shocked. Meanwhile, Shahan asks Ming to stay, but he refuses, returns the tickets, and prefers cash over them. Shahan still insists. Zen reaches Juan, apologizes for Beijing, and brings dessert. Juan isn't angry and introduces him at the shop, saying she will arrange a hotel. Hao and Ting meet him and feel uneasy, sending Ming his photo. He is too busy to check. Juan takes Zen to the same hotel she had stayed in before. Meanwhile, Ming finally sees the photo and messages, gets shocked, and rushes there. Zen asks Juan about her future plans. She says she will stay a year and prepare for exam. He offers to take her abroad with everything ready: admission, visa, ticket. Ming, worried, rushes to the hotel and sees them together. Zen explains he regrets the delay and wants to leave soon. Ming arrives, saying Feng asked him to bring Juan home. Tension rises as Zen insists he will take care of her from now on. Juan asks for time to decide. Outside, Ming asks if Zen is taking her to Beijing. She says abroad. He falls silent. While eating noodles, Juan asks his opinion. He says clearly he wants her to stay. He gives her a ticket and says he will support her decision either way. Hao calls him for another issue, so he leaves. Meanwhile, Zen argues with his mother, who threatens him. He refuses to give up on taking Juan abroad. Soon, he gets into a fight with a live streamer in the hotel due to frustration. Hao and Ming call an officer. Using CCTV footage as proof, the situation is resolved, but Zen is forced to leave the hotel and ends up staying in Ming's utility room. While fixing Zen's phone, Ming asks about his plan. Zen confidently explains everything is ready for life abroad. Ming questions why he is doing all this. Zen says he has loved Juan since childhood. They grew up together and were never apart except during her mother's illness. Zen then asks Ming why he cares so much about Juan. He accuses him of helping only for money, creating tension between them. He gives him an extra 5,000 yuan to convince Juan to go abroad with him.